News from Jamaica now. At least one public sector body has found favor with the Porter Simpson Miller administration's wage offer. The Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions, JCTU, signed on the dotted line this week to a new 2-year wage agreement. But what exactly is in the deal? It's been a long road, but after months of intense negotiations, the Porter Simpson Miller administration finally made a breakthrough in the current wage negotiations with public sector workers. Well, at least with one of the largest blocs, the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions, JCTU, decided to sign on the dotted lines on Tuesday. The agreement comes after public servants endured a 5-year work freeze. The new wage deal is for the period April 2015 to March 2017 and will see workers enjoying a 7% increase. However, only 8 of the 11 trade unions bargaining under the Confederation signed the heads of agreement at the special ceremony at Jamaica House on Tuesday. The Union of Schools, Agriculture and Allied Workers, the Union of Technical, Administrative and Supervisory Personnel, and the United Union of Jamaica refused to sign. Vice President of the JCTU, Helene Davis-White, concedes the figure agreed on wasn't the most ideal, but she argues workers obliged given the current economic challenges facing the country.
It is not the best deal in terms of what each of us would have wanted, but it is what we feel we can live with at this point in time. What we are committed to doing, we will say, is that the first meeting of the Public Sector Monitoring Committee, we are going to develop an action plan so that whatever is agreed is in fact implemented, because that has been one of our problems. We would hope that when we come to this point, in the next cycle, 2017-2019, it will be in better, happier times, with more being made available and workers being able to demand their fair share of the cake.
Mrs. Davis-White rebuffed suggestions that members caved into the government's desires. The Confederation sided with the government, while teachers, police officers, nurses, and air traffic controllers, among others, are yet to ink a deal. Those groups are adamant the 7% offer isn't a realistic deal. According to the veteran trade unionist, her group took a mature approach to the negotiation table. She argues that it wasn't an easy task, and it took 14 drafts before both parties could arrive at a compromise. Mrs. Davis-White insists emphasis was not only placed on monies, but other benefits such as education and training for workers.
So we would not be focusing only on wages, but we would be looking at all the elements that go into a wage package. And importantly, we felt that we needed to focus on things like training and education, because we recognize that no matter how much increase you get, at the end of the day, it is what you are able to retain that will never leave you that is of more value. And so we placed a lot of emphasis on training and education.
So what exactly is in the deal the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions has agreed to? Along with the 7% wage increase, workers will also pocket a $4,000 payment across the board each month. The additional $4,000 will cushion workers who take home the least in the group. Also in the contract, increases in allowances, including meals and funeral grants.
12 items from the previous contract period are still being pursued. An increase in salaries projected for 4% in year 1 and 3% in year 2. There will be increases in the following allowances: tailoring, meal, supper, taxi, refreshment, shift and night premium, special duty, subsistence, death benefit, and funeral grant. There's also agreement for a compensation review which will establish relations between and among groups in the public and private sectors.
In the meantime, public servants' children who attend tertiary institutions are set to benefit from a $45 million fund that will provide education grants. Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller adds that the government has committed to at least one land or housing project this financial year.
There will be a fund totaling $45 million for tertiary education grants to children of public sector workers over the 2 years of the contract. There's also agreement for the maintenance of benefits across the public sector. These benefits are tertiary education loans, refund of tuition, grants to children of public sector workers, government transportation, and skills training.
Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips praised the group for its patriotism.
Quite frankly, the manner in which the negotiations have been conducted, while obviously each party has divergent interests, separate interests in many respects, I think it is fair to say that these negotiations have reflected the kind of maturity which ought to characterize deliberations and negotiations.
Meanwhile, Minister with responsibility for the public service, Horace Daly, is promising workers that the government will fulfill its end of the bargain. He commits that all the items agreed will be implemented.
We commit on behalf of the Government of Jamaica and on behalf of the Ministry of Finance and Planning, Mr. Jones and his team that we have there, to personally ensure that every single aspect of this agreement is implemented as we have agreed. It's tough. We have come a long way, but we will do it. We are partners, and we are doing this for the prosperity and the growth and development of our country.
Deputy Financial Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, Mr. Wayne Jones, says it was a tough negotiating period. However, he says both parties reached a compromise.
This agreement will break the commonly referred to period of wage freeze. It, however, does not end the period of wage restraint in the public sector. This agreement comes at a time when the country is recording improvements in a number of areas of economic management and development. The economic reform program embarked upon by this country has already begun to show signs of success. The period
Meanwhile, it's back to the bargaining table for the outstanding unions who have opted against the 7% offer. President of the Jamaica Medical Doctors Association, JMDA, Dr. Alfred Dawes, says members have shut down the 7% offer. He says the union is seeking a meeting with Ministry of Finance representatives.
We have completed consultations with our members in the 4 regions across the island, and the members have rejected the government's proposal. What we have done now is to create a counter-proposal that we have sent off to the Ministry of Finance, and we are awaiting word from them, having requested a meeting. So we hope to have that meeting soon and hear what they have to say about our counter-proposal and what they're willing to add to the offer that they had initially sent to us.
Dr. Dawes says the doctors are requesting overtime payment. The group is also demanding allowances.
Doctors are currently working beyond regular duty hours without getting compensation, say on weekends and after 4 o'clock when they stay back. For years, I've been trying to get persons adequately compensated. So that's one of the things we'll be pushing for. If you do your work, then you get compensated, and this free business has to cut out. The 7% increases has not found favor with the members. But we'll be looking along the lines of allowances as well as trying to see if the government can up that 7% a bit.
In the meantime, the Police Federation continues to lobby on behalf of its members. Chairman of the Federation, Sergeant Raymond Wilson, argues that an increase of 7% cannot offset the financial challenges plaguing officers.
The Police Federation is still awaiting a meeting from the Ministry of Finance. We last met on July 9th. We have sent 3 letters since. The last was delivered personally yesterday. Yes, we recognize that other unions have signed. Those unions do not in any way represent the Police Federation. We are not of faith except for what we have read in the media with what are contained in the agreement signed between them. And therefore, we await our turn at the table to determine if what the government has to present to us will result in what we have been seeking, which is sufficient remuneration to reduce the impact that the state of things has been having on our police officers.
Sergeant Wilson notes that included in the police's claim is the need for urgent attention to be placed on providing transportation for officers after work.
It has always been something, long before the murder of Constable Crystal Thomas. It is something that we have been asking for. We have been asking for it since about 2007, thereabout, since we had it in place before, and we were really asking for replacement. We presented it last to government on the 9th of July. Constable Thomas was killed on the 14th, 5 days after. And today, still nothing has changed. We have mentioned it over and over, and of course we continue to press for it because we believe the vulnerable environment within which our police officers work, the least we can do is provide for them when they are going home to their families after pursuing criminals and other offenders of the law.